Hello, hello, hello. I am Crafty Andy, and we're doing some art today. I want to do some art, so we're gonna do some art. Just let some of the memes play out, and let's just get started right away here. Right. So I'll finish my sketch here for the pat board. I figure because I want to be drawing over it or painting over it, best to well, I was going to say trace over it, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. Alright, I have to grab the lamp. Having come back in there. Alright, let's see if this will work. Nope, still can't see jack diddly shit. Fuck it. And just deal with it when I can. Alright. And what's going on in the world today? There's a lot of stupid shit going on. Do you all a favor here. Alright, well, let's get this cut. Double check to make sure this is going to measure out fine. Yep. So, do the lines real quick. Just let the tool do the work. Perfect. Just leave that taped on. Slide it in. It really does make my mood feel a lot better when I'm able to just wake up and start doing this right away. Feel so much more productive when I'm actually making something. Even though this is kind of like a fan art project, but whatever. Unfortunately, fan art is how you get recognized quicker. And even that's a gamble. As you can see, I'm not exactly the most popular person around. I guess maybe if I was like Phil Hartman and made the Fairly Odd Parents, I could scam a bunch of people out of money. Like he did. And they'll be like, oh no guys, I can't scam you, I'm a Christian. I definitely would never scam you. Stay. Don't move on me. What the fuck's going on here? So far, so good. Last one. Don't fuck it up. What we got? I'm going to paint this up. Actually, what we gotta do, we're gonna have to get our easel ready. Whatever, this is a nice little side project to use for future commentaries while I get the Sonic stuff done. So far, I got next week's video already done. It's already set to premiere on the other channel. What I really need to start doing after I get done with this today is post the shit out of it and share it around. Alright, just give me a few minutes here. Now we're going to take this print. Seal it up for now. Don't want any accidents like what happened in the last one. If I get any paint on this, it's game over, and I'm pretty sure I can't get another one. Alright. Put on the video and I'll be right back. These are my thoughts. Abortion is one of those issues that's been settled long ago. Like if the earth is round, it's not even something that deserves to be entertained in a debate. Hell, if you look into America's favorite theatrical prop, the Bible, it even endorses it in Numbers, chapter 5, 11 through 28. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthenware vessel, and take some of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle, and put it into the water. The priest shall make her take an oath, saying, if no man has lain with you, and if you have not turned aside to uncleanliness, while you are under your husband's authority, be free from this water of bitterness that brings the curse. But ye have gone astray, though you are under your husband's authority, and if you have defiled yourself, and some man other than your husband has lain with you, then would the Lord make you a curse and an oath among your people, when the Lord makes your thigh fall away and your body swell. May this water that brings the curse expass into your bowels, and make your womb swell and your thigh fall away. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen, between her cries of agony. And the goddamn Bible even indicates a woman is more valuable than the unborn in Exodus. If people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, and the offender must be fined, whatever the woman's husband demands, and the court allows. Outside of that, it's not mentioned elsewhere. Despite over 60% of the country polling in agreement with keeping abortion federally legal, 90% of developing parasites who are inclined to have Down syndrome are aborted. Funny, the pro-lifers are all of a sudden taking into account one's quality of life in raising a person with Down syndrome when deciding to keep such a pregnancy, much less ones involving where the brain doesn't develop, or it's just completely impossible for it to survive, one way or another. And despite majority approval, Roe v. Wade was overturned, allowing the states to decide on the matter, and big surprise, the red states are passing laws to outright ban all abortions, and looking to charge fully developed women and doctors with murder. Really, what the majority thinks shouldn't matter as much as proven ethics. Like, if the majority of people want to legalize setting their neighbor on fire, should it be legal? No, but I do digress. Now, our country can be more like other places where abortion is banned, like the Congo, Iraq, Gabon, and plenty of other countries most couldn't locate on a map, like Malta, where a woman miscarried and the doctors were unable to do anything for her because of the anti-abortion laws there, even though they concluded her baby was dead and that she was at risk for a massive infection. So she had to fly to the backwards, dystopian land of Spain, where there is only chaos and the streets run red with the blood of the innocent. Look at this shit. She could also go to the other terrible third world countries like Finland, Norway, and Canada. These pro-lifers are celebrating right now in the US that there are a bunch of women who are being forced to give birth to babies they don't want. I don't know what it's like to be raised by parents who didn't want me. I can only imagine what this shit is going to be like for the people who are thinking right now, I don't want to have this responsibility, I can't afford this, I don't fucking want this. What kind of life is this child being set up for? Just put it up for adoption, as they say. Oh yeah, join the other 433,000 orphan kids being raised by Father Molestia and Sister Francine Dementia. I'm sure it'll be fucking awesome. Right up until the time they age out of the system, like 23,000 children do per year. All this time, whenever the debate comes up, I never hear about making improvements to the foster care system, except when it comes to trying to keep gay people from adopting them.
Conservative commenter Ben Shapiro thinks same-sex couples should not be allowed to adopt. His reasoning includes the fact that Mother's Day and Father's Day are different holidays.
He's also anti-abortion,
we don't have to say.
Look at the double-dipped, double-decker fucking shit sandwich he's feeding children. Number one, no abortion, so you get to be born to parents that don't want you. Number two, adoption agencies can't give you to a family that would love you and take care of you. You gotta stay in the fucking orphanage. What a compassionate fucking ideology you've got, Yarmulke boy.
I guess it works out though for certain kinds of people. The kind that don't want an educated populace. The kind that see kids born in vulnerable circumstances that makes them easy targets for Christian and right-wing groomers who seek to mold such individuals into believing things like God and not questioning authority, and that superstition is good and they should conform and obey a theocratic ideology above all else. There's your sample. Oh man, is this true? I've been hearing rumors of this, but is this fucking true? I mean, he hasn't gotten married, he has no interest in getting married as he says, and all that stuff, so maybe.
Okay, dozens of you have asked me to address this issue, and I'm ready to address it today. I've been waiting for the story to develop a little bit. Some of you might remember this guy named Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson is sort of a prominent, black conservative.
Tell you that
Christian
gay
pastor
people are
who has
bad.
a men's counseling center in Los Angeles, which I've been to when I was on Jesse's program a couple of years ago. His studio and his radio show all go out of the same building. I believe it's called the Bond in Los Angeles. And it turns out, it appears, that the very openly homophobic, anti-gay Christian pastor Jesse Lee Peterson is gay. And I'm going to talk about my experience with him, which included him being pretty handsy with me, to be perfectly honest. I wasn't sexually harassed, I didn't feel intimidated or anything, but at the time, I just wrote it off to this guy's just a character. You know, he's just handsy. But I'm gonna get back to that, okay? So here's the story. The Daily Beast now reporting allegations of manosphere pastors' gay past, royal macho men. Jesse Lee Peterson has emerged as one of the right's most vocal anti-gay figures, but his one-time friends now allege that the pastor has had many same-sex relationships. There are I'm not going to give you every claim, but there are so many stories now of people saying, I was involved in sexual, men saying I was involved in sexual activity with Jesse Lee Peterson. He comes on to people aggressively in many cases, etc. Two of Peterson's former male associates came out in June with on-the-record interviews saying they engaged in sexual activities with him. Other men say he propositioned them. These allegations about the pastor, who is publicly staunchly heterosexual, have ripped like an earthquake through the manosphere, prompting some Peterson allies to abandon him and prompting one manosphere conference to ban him altogether.
Just
the
like
Daily
that,
Beast
huh?
was not able to substantiate the allegations. Peterson
I like how
ministry,
anything he's done too for this anti-gay narrative is just discounted completely.
Okay, so what's my view on this? I don't care about his sexuality per se. I really could not care less. At this point, I just don't care about people's sexual orientation. It's boring to me. I just don't care. Now, Jesse Lee Peterson is definitely an odd guy. He is
Wait, what am I doing?
seemingly obsessed with talking, despite being a black man, talking about how great white people are and how terrible black people are. And he's also obsessed with talking about how terrible and sinful and horrible it is to be gay. And he supposedly counsels young men out of being gay, or at least that's what he claims to do. And it seems as though he is also
gives him a
gay
handsy, too.
himself. Okay. What I can tell you is that the vibe at his counseling office was really, really weird. So let me tell you what I personally observed. Was he handsy at his office? He was. He kept,
Dave Hammond's okay, but it's
pictures.
just way too fucking
He was
vanilla.
sort of like weirdly hugging me.
He's not willing to
arm
get
around
colorful
me in a
language
way
and
that's
language-wise.
It's not. It doesn't raise any red flag. I didn't think he was coming on to me. I didn't feel intimidated or whatever. There were people around. But it was just like, it was the first time I was meeting him, and he was a
just could
little
do
bit
better.
handsy, and I didn't really think anything of it. Now in this context, maybe that was something sort of different. He was kind of like whispering into my ear, like not sweet nothings. It was actually about Trump. He was like, and I've said this before, like, you're going to vote for Trump, aren't you, David? You're going to vote for Trump. And I quite literally thought absolutely nothing of it, like nothing at all, like what people are describing. The atmosphere
We'll just
at
do
his
it this
office
way.
with young men kind of hanging around, the fact that he counsels young men with Christian counseling, I did find it all weird, but not because I thought it was a way for him to proposition dudes, because it just seemed like this is the last guy who should be counseling young men. And of course, he takes advantage of this entire thing, where, as many of you know, to say one is a therapist, you actually need a license. You either need to be a psychologist or a licensed social worker, licensed independent social worker, a psychiatrist, licensed mental
Another
health
victim
counselor.
of
He
his
was none
own
these things.
ideology.
The term counselor or coach can be used by anybody, and he claimed to be a counselor, and of course, he's just a pastor. He doesn't actually have any therapy credentials, and that was the biggest red flag. And there were all these young men hanging around, and it was odd. So is it a shock? I mean, not really, in the sense that we've seen now dozens of the most openly and notably homophobic Christian figures actually be gay themselves. In that sense, it's not really a shock. It's only sort of surprising because this is the only one that I personally know, and who's, I was with him at his office and all of these different things. So that's really all I have to say about it. It's not, it's not, when people started emailing me saying, David, it turns out Jesse Lee Peterson is gay. Okay. No, that's my concern is more about what are the lives that he has potentially ruined. Now, one other thing, there was this interesting moment. Jesse Lee Peterson's all about alpha, the alpha male, and he says if you're on the left, you're beta. He's called me a beta male. And we had an interview where I asked him, are you in a relationship? Are you sexually active or whatever? And he said that he's off sex. And he's off sex because out of wedlock, I think was the term he used. It's inappropriate or whatever, but he seemed visibly uncomfortable with the line of questioning.
Well, yeah, he's
Again,
either
is it all
asexual or
related
he's
to this
probably gay,
entire
and he's got some sexual
hidden
preferences he wants to keep
homosexuality thing that's
sacred.
going on? Maybe, I don't know. In retrospect, hindsight starts to become clearer and clearer, but I don't really know that
It's
any
just pretty
one
sad.
of these things is sort of like a big, oh, it should have been obvious that he was one of these homophobic gay guys. I really can't say that. I can only speak to my personal experience. And that's what it is. Very, it's a sad story.
At least
It's
on
not
the
sad
bright
that
side,
he's gay.
he's on a PDF
It's sad
file.
that he's gay and homophobic. That's always sad when people can't just be who they are. And also that I have a very strange feeling about the entire counseling of young men, who, quite frankly, we're talking about boys in many cases, that he was doing, and who knows what else we may learn about this.
Oh boy.
That's about it. One of our sponsors is Immi.
I did hear that
he
got a little handsy with some of his clients, so I don't know.
Like any
we'll see.
instant ramen, you pop Immi into the microwave
We'll
or on
see.
the stovetop for a few minutes, and it's ready to go. But what makes Immi different is that it is packed with 21 grams of protein, lower in sodium, 100% plant-based, with 18 grams of fiber for digestive health, and it tastes excellent. So many of the other ramens are bland, simple, artificial. Imi uses high-quality ingredients and recipes. You get a zing of flavor I've never had with any instant ramen. Imi comes in amazing flavors like spicy beef, tom yum shrimp, and black garlic chicken. If you try Imi and don't love it, you get your money back. You'll get $5 off when you go to imieats.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman at checkout. The link is down below.
All right. Got that. Change up my water here.
Well. 11 days, 11 videos. Who'd have believed it was possible in 2022, right? Seems like I haven't had this kind of consistency since, like, I don't know, 2009, 2010 maybe?
Audios, I was saying.
I don't know if the videos are of any quality or not, but, you know, hey, I'm making them, so that...
I saw it. It was good. I don't need to rip off anyone's stuff, though. What else we got? Why is Boogie on my subscriptions? Why is Peterson on my subscriptions? Alright, let's have H3 actually tell us how Peterson completely lost it, because I think he has. It's pretty great, too, because he's like starting up a fucking show on the Daily Wire. Let's see. I think this will help it dry so it doesn't stick to the cardboard. Let's elevate it a little bit. There we go. And we need to make up a mixture to match up background of the print. You know, I think I'll do something a little different too after this. I think I'm gonna go into some of the anti-SJW channels since I want to do a little parody of them. You know, you gotta know your enemy a little bit, right? I'd love to know some of the things they're talking about lately. So my plan is pretty much just to review TV shows as if they were new, like old TV shows. I feel like I missed a few spots here. Well, actually, idea is you let it dry, you at least put a couple layers on there. You know what? Let's go over the whole thing again. Paint it down like that. Camera cool off. My anxiety comes into play when I think about like how much of this I can get done in one day. You'll probably get the whole damn thing done in one day, but you know, gotta get interrupted by an 8-hour work day. And then the idea is pour in faster than I can get the work done. which is good, I guess, because it means I'll never be sitting around thinking, oh, I just have no more ideas. My goal is to try to get some major videos done while at the same time getting these weekly ones done too. So far I'm a week ahead. I'm hoping to get at least like 2 or 3 weeks ahead this weekend. So maybe I won't parody that nuclear strike thing this week. Or maybe I will at least get the filming done of it. But right now, the writing process needs to happen first. I think we came up with some good. I think I came up with some funny ideas for it. Yeah, one more layer on this one here. Alright, let's watch my progression. Alright, so I want to take this and match the background a little bit. I'm going to put some tiki faces in the background. You know what? Take a snapshot. Whoop. Let it dry first. Okay, snapshot when it's apart. Snapshot these together. Come on, stabilizer. My phone's starting to fucking bug out. Yeah, it's 3 years old. That's about the time we're playing at obsolescence, right? Where your phone is designed to just slowly degrade over time. Technology in general. So you keep the perpetual growth going. Like, well, we have less people buying stuff. We'll just make it so that they have to buy more of the same stuff. Plan ops. There we go. We do some classics. Let's do a classic. It's too bad we don't see this anymore. I think Fox saw it as probably too good. Let's see here. Meet the music.
Ah, this stupid light bulb's out again! This is Bullshit!
Nope, it's not bullshit. It's planned obsolescence.
What's that?
Come with me. Planned obsolescence. That's making stuff that breaks on purpose. Planned obsolescence. It's how companies bend us over and screw us.
What do you mean?
When Edison first started making light bulbs, they could last for 100+ years. Some are even still shining without replacements or repairs. But incandescent light bulbs only last for around 1,000 hours. So you always need new light bulbs, 'cause the bulb company needs buyers.
Ugh, because of capitalism?
Now you're getting it. In 1924, light bulb companies
Shove the money in his
held a
face.
secret meeting in Geneva. They agreed to make shitty light bulbs so customers would always need them.
Ugh, well, at least it's just light bulbs.
Nope. Video games, TVs, textbooks, cell phones, tablets.
Yeah, how long is
automobiles,
my
computers,
Switch
and
gonna last,
operating
you know?
Systems, clothes, printer, ink, and appliances.
Who's the biggest culprit of planned obsolescence?
Hard to say.
Ooh, can I have an apple?
Oh, I'd wait. Newer apples are always better. Companies don't care about quality. They just want you back in the store. They don't want products lasting for decades. They just want you always wanting more. Planned obsolescence. Most products are designed to fail. Planned obsolescence. Capitalism always needs new stuff for sale. Son of a shit!
It's getting too close to the truth. The globalists didn't want you to see this, so they eliminated it. Oh, this one I haven't seen.
When you wake up in the morning in the USA, turn on the television.
Good morning.
For today, there's a correlation between what's on your display
And your health, your fears.
and what you weigh. Anchors talk about bombs in Baghdad.
Tech segment makes you wish you had the new doodad.
They give you anxiety in between each ad because you're more likely to buy things if you feel sad.
See, in the early 1930s, the big companies
Realized America's economy must overshadow its needs.
One man invented advertising so companies could get their way.
He called it the engineering of consent.
And his name was Ed Bernays. Back to your morning, it's time to eat. Breakfast used to mean toast and a cup of coffee. Bernays used ads to make that seem incomplete. So now breakfast is cereal or a piece of meat. Bernays told companies,
Create a feeling of doom. So we'd want the comfort of things that can be consumed.
if you are what you buy, it's your identity.
blame last name Bernays, first name E.
Sell anything to people if they think they need more. Use techniques of sex and violence cause it's hard to ignore. If you think it'll make you happy, you'll go to a store. And if you think you're in danger, you'll support a war. From Dutch to Jim Beam, Chiquita and CBS use Bernays techniques to achieve their success. Procter & Gamble, even Hellman's Mayonnaise, General Electric, we're all clients of Bernays. Thanks to Bernays, companies control what you see. From what you wear, to what you drink, to what you want to be. It all comes down to Bernays' simple theory. Reduce people to
Anger, lust,
fear
And envy.
So if you're fat, sick, or scared and you want to know why, don't blame fate or luck or the man in the sky. Until you turn off your TV, companies will all get their way. You're being manipulated by Ed Bernays.
Yeah, I love it.
to fertility and begone. Thoughts?
This suit means something. From the studio that brought you Toy Story.
To infinity.
And... Thank you.
Welcome back to America's Funniest Hostage Negotiation Fails. Lightyear from 2022 is, I feel, one of the most average Pixar films ever made. IMO. Other than some shining moments that really should have been in a better film, it doesn't feel like Pixar made this. It just feels like a lifeless quota, like, hey guys, Disney here. You can either make another Toy Story or a Buzz spinoff. I like Pixar's last few films, Turning Red, Soul, Luca. Well, I didn't care for Luca. Oh, and I will defend Onward, because I demand a Gauntlet or Diablo-style game for it. Now, Lightyear is just okay. Buzz mid-tier.
Ugh. You lost me when you defended Onward. Alright. Let's see here. Yeah, I'd say probably more along the lines of like some yellow and orange, yellow, red, orange. So, despite what people tell you, the primary colors for acrylic paints are cyan, magenta, is it cyan, magenta? Oh boy, how do I look it up again?
Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna try to bust a couple of myths surrounding the notion of primary colors in painting. If you've learned at school that red, yellow and blue are the true primary colors that you can mix all of the colors from, or if you think that you know better and you think that cyan, magenta and yellow are the only true primary colors, I hope that this video will help you rethink all of that and see a new perspective on the notion of primary color.
Oh, please tell me more.
So let's talk about this notion of primary color. According to the commonly accepted definition, colors are primary if they cannot be obtained by any mixing, and if they're allowed to mix all the other colors. This is the definition you've probably learned at school, and I'm sure you were told that red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors from which all of the colors are created. You know, primary colors mixed give secondary colors. Red and yellow make orange, red and blue make purple, and blue and yellow make green. From there, you mix every other color in existence. That's why they are called primary. They can create all the other colors, and you can't obtain them by mixing. That's the commonly accepted definition, and it's still present in many serious art books and taught in many art institutions. But a closer look will show us that not everything is so simple. There are some problems with this notion. First of all, there seem to be two functional models at work. On the one hand, the cyan, magenta, yellow model used by printers, and on the other hand, the traditional red, yellow, blue model used by artists. If red, yellow, and blue are so unique and fundamental, how come printers don't use them? So basically, painters would have their own primary colors, and engineers designing printers have different ones.
Yeah,
red, yellow, blue, or cyan, magenta, yellow. Which one is correct? Then, the second problem is that it's wrong to say that primary colors cannot be obtained by any mixing. For example, by using quercetin rose and cadmium yellow, we can obtain a red as chromatic as the so-called primary red of the red, yellow, blue model. And by using phthalo blue and phthalo green, we can get a color that matches the cyan primary of the cyan, magenta, yellow model. Finally, the third problem is that the definition of any individual color in itself is ambiguous. From a physical point of view, there is no difference in nature from one color to another, so I can call magenta what you would call red, or call blue what you would call cyan. This is a confusion that has occurred in the history of color before. Before the words cyan and magenta were common knowledge, these colors were often referred to as blue and red, and their exact hue has changed significantly over time. But even today, who can really say what exactly is a magenta or a cyan? Similarly, for...
Fair enough. Alright, let's get into crazy shit.
So anyway, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. By the way, is there a new Jordan Peterson video we should be watching? Because you know I love that man.
Yes, please.
There is.
I mean,
Give me the
if you
crazy.
watch it, it's just.
I'll react to your
it wasn't
reaction.
just, like, meme worthy.
I mean, this is just a laid back thing, so whatever.
I was hoping it was.
He did an interview with this guy.
Okay,
Kyle
it should be dry
Kalinske,
now.
Who is a progressive YouTuber. Kinda surprised. Dude, he looks so dark.
Yeah, let's
bro.
try.
That all meat diet is
Let's
like.
try this
you know,
magenta and
his
yellow
skin.
and see what we get.
Also, he's so dark and brooding now. It's like straight up Joker vibes, especially with that green shirt.
He's turning into a lobster.
Yeah, right. The final transformation.
Just like the movie.
It's a new Batman villain called the Lobster. He's best friends with the Penguin. All right, it's 5 minutes.
Instead
This
of wasting a
is
bunch of
actually good
paint.
here.
Question is,
What if I just do that?
is the physician really criminal if you agree that adults can decide to trans?
He's asking. So you
Oh,
guys know
Kalinske?
Jordan
Fuck.
said that
Just do the fucking
Elliot
interview.
Page.
So I noticed just the other day you were banned from Twitter. Now, you know, I'm somebody, nobody can argue against my lefty credentials. Everybody knows I'm a man of the left. Having said that, my solution on this issue of social media censorship has always been, look, we need to expand First Amendment protections. And the way you do that is to regulate these big social media companies
All right, I'm just gonna make
like
it more
their
of a
public
red.
utilities. So if you do that, then you know, basically you're saying this is the new public square and people can speak their mind here. Now that doesn't mean, of course you can't, you know, dox people or do direct threats of violence or anything like anything that's actually illegal will remain illegal. But outside of that, you can't censor people just based on political opinion. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't have banned you, suspended you, etc. But I do have a question about that specific tweet that did get you in trouble because, you know, you said something to the effect of,
well, I don't know if it got me in trouble. You know, I don't think I'm in trouble. Twitter banned me, but I don't consider that trouble.
They suspended you. They didn't ban
fair
you.
enough. Fair point. But you said something to the effect of, remember when pride was a sin, and the criminal physicians...
And Ellen Page just had her breasts cut off by a criminal physician.
Criminal physician,
A
exactly.
criminal
So my question
physician.
Is the physician really criminal? If you agree that adults can decide to transition, then why would the physician be criminal? Don't adults have that right if they want to transition?
You broke him.
Not everything legal isn't criminal. And do they have that right? See, I would have left Ellen Page alone if she hadn't been parading her new abs in a fashion magazine.
What do you
How many
mean?
kids do you think she can convince to convert? A 1?
Yeah.
1,000? No, not yeah.
No, no.
Really?
If they're trans and they're looking to to transition,
trans community is
yeah,
very
they're going to
similar
be
to the gay
inspired to
community,
actually go
where
through with
back
it.
when that
Like, hey,
first
look,
became
there's
a
someone
big
like
issue,
me
people
out there.
thought, oh, if we talk about it, if it's in magazines or whatever, we're promoting kids to go down that path. But really what happened is people are
let's
who they
fade
are.
this
If they're
out.
gay, they just decided to be like,
No.
yeah, I'm gay, and they were just more open and honest with themselves. So I don't think you're promoting people to do
No,
that. You're
that's
just
not
saying,
what happened.
if you
You're
are that, it's
completely
okay.
wrong.
Okay, well,
You're utterly
I'm
wrong.
listening.
There's
I'm
nothing
listening.
about that that's right.
So
Well,
explain. I'm
there's
listening.
been an absolute look. One of the reasons that I opposed Bill C-16 in Canada to begin with, this pronoun compelled speech bill, was because I knew perfectly well what was going to happen when we introduced confusion about
Actually,
gender
you know, I think I
identity
probably
in the
should
public
change the
sphere.
color a little bit. Maybe
Now, the
more
argument
like
was
a
that if we
pink.
left people with gender dysphoria alone to make their own way and stop torturing them, that we would decrease the mental health load on those individuals. And my analysis as a clinician was that for every one person of that sort that we hypothetically save, we doom 1,000 more as a consequence of confusion and social contagion. I knew the literature on
me a break.
psychogenic epidemics.
Makes it sound like Jordan's like somehow being convinced to transition.
300 years. And whenever you introduce, often when you introduce social confusion, you can produce a psychogenic epidemic, especially among,
Hey, Heather.
generally it's adolescent females who are most susceptible to it. So I thought, oh, well, what's going to happen is we'll produce a psychogenic epidemic of gender dysphoria among adolescent females. And that is exactly what's happened. And it isn't the fact that we've freed up people who are, in doubt about their identity to be who they are. That may have happened in a tiny minority of cases. It's absolutely and definitely the case that we've doomed thousands of kids to brutal, mutilating surgery and premature sterility. And we've done that on the altar of our hypothetical moral virtue and compassion. Look, I read a corporate analysis of the trans surgery industry last week. Growth rate
Trying to
projection
figure out what color's gonna
for
look
you
best with
lefty
this
types and your anti-corporatism.
on the outside.
Growth rate projection, 15% per year. Invest now. A $350 million business as of 2022, projected to expand to $750 million by 2027. No moral hazard there? There's plenty of moral hazard there. And that surgery is
Actually,
absolutely
yeah, probably
brutal.
make it a little darker.
So what percentage of the population do you think, in your conception of how this is unfolding, what percentage of the population do you think is going to end up being trans at the end of this? Do you think like
It
one day it's
depends on how
going to
you
be like
define it.
70% of the
we know
country
already
is trans?
Well, we know already that about 1 in 5 adolescents now identifies, to use that hated word, identifies as
1
part
out of
the
5?
hypothetical
Doubt
LGBTQ
that.
plus community.
Oh, you mean queer? Yeah. Well, so
it's
what?
1 in 5.
That's what happens when
I
things
don't know
become
what the
more
upper limit is.
acceptable.
There's a consulting group in the UK now that's claiming there's 150
There we go. I
different
like this.
genders. There's actually, I suppose, 7 billion different genders if you want to get technical about it, because everybody's temperament differs.
How about gender is
But
just a social
I don't know what
construct?
the upper limit is.
How about
And I
that?
have no idea what the upper limit is for this surgical intervention. We'll see.
Doesn't
But
that-
I don't find it. I don't find it the least bit acceptable. And if you think that your compassion is demanding that you extend your pity to the LGBTQ plus community at the cost of sterilizing children, you should think again. You're on the wrong side of this, and not in a
No,
way.
he's not.
Don't-
You're a fucking idiot.
I would appreciate if you don't ascribe beliefs to me that I don't have. Remember, my original question was
Well,
about...
you said earlier in
well,
this question that,
I said
that you
Elliot
were.
Page is an adult, and so do you think that he has the right to
Yeah, but
transition? That was the
You
original
made
question.
some comments after that. Yeah, but as a star
Mhm.
and a public figure and a model for emulation,
Mm-hmm.
she also has the responsibility not to entice confused adolescents.
What the
into
fuck
a
does that
catastrophic
mean?
decision
Entice
before they have the maturity to
confused
make that
adolescents.
decision.
Who's confused?
I just have to say, Jordan, I think it's a little bit of a
If
moral
they're
panic. I just don't
confused
see some sort of
and they get some clarity seeing
what
Paige
would you
do it,
consider-
become trans.
then they're no longer
First of all,
confused.
that's
Then
a hell
are
of a way
they?
to put it.
What?
Why don't
is
you
that-
take a look at the increase in surgical interventions and see what you think? I mean, how many do you think is
Well,
too many? How
again,
many? Wait, look. If we're talking about
I'll answer your
suffering-
question. I'll answer your question. The argument is it used to be very repressed because that's very outside of the tradition and the norm and the standard, and that now when you
What
sort of
used
let
to
the
be?
boot off
What
the neck
used
a
to
little
be
bit.
suppressed? What used to be suppressed?
All the
Exactly.
entire LGBTQ community. I mean, it was very recently we
Okay,
even
first
got
of
gay
all, they're
marriage
not
in the
a co-
United States.
First of all, they're not a community.
Oh, okay,
Well, you
sure.
understand
What
the
is
point
this
I'm making.
community? No, actually, neither I
just fucking
understand
paint
it
the whole
nor
damn
you,
thing.
and that's why we're delving into it.
Oh, just read.
First of all, they're not a community. That's just a catchphrase. It's a buzzword. And I'll tell you
Catchphrase.
something else.
It's a marketing
Almost all the
decision.
kids who
Give me a
are
break,
undergoing
Peterson.
surgical intervention. The clinical literature is absolutely clear on this. 80% of kids with gender dysphoria identify as homosexual when they mature. 80%. And that means the vast majority of people who are being converted surgically are gay.
All right, we need to take
Now,
this
how
down.
is that an advantage to the gay community, precisely?
No, see, I'm not taking a position in any way, shape, or form on the kids because I don't know the
Well, you
first thing
should.
about this to comment on the kids. Well, but see, that's why we're having this conversation, though, is because my original question was
They're
about
kids.
the adults and what your take is on the adults. And it sounds to me like, let me ask you guys, would you ban transition surgery for adults?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, really. We're
See,
paying
to
a
me-
big price for it, and I think that
Paying a
it
big
was
price for it?
um,
Who?
It was an act of stunning hubris to conduct the first trans surgery procedure. and it's not obvious to me at
I
all
need a
that it's
piece
been
of
a net
cardboard
social
that I
good.
thought I have. Apparently
But
I
aren't
don't.
there some people that are obviously trans who were born in one body, they feel like they're in the other body, and when they're an adult, they can make the decision? And then even from just a freedom and liberty perspective, shouldn't they have that right? Even if they do it and then they regret it, shouldn't they have the right to try it?
Good question. I mean, it's a tricky one, right? Because there's all sorts of surgical enhancement procedures that are it's not obviously appropriate to make them illegal. And I don't know exactly where the cutoff line is, so to speak, and that's partly why we're having a public discussion about it. But this entire argument, in many ways, is stated so idiotically that it almost defies description. I mean, what do you mean, feel like you're in the wrong body? What kind of measurement is that? Now, hang on a sec. There are rules for these sorts of diagnostic decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The rule is that you have to make a valid and reliable diagnosis. That's if you're diagnosing depression or anxiety or obsessive compulsive disorder or cancer or anything like that. There are standards that you have to abide by in order to make a diagnosis, in order to fulfill the obligations of your professional calling. If someone comes to you and says, I feel like I have lung cancer, that is not sufficient grounds upon which to formulate a diagnosis, much less proceed to surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is, what do you mean by feel? What is that? Is that an emotion? Is it a motivation? Is it a philosophical conclusion? What is it?
Let me explain to you what I mean. So I've been doing my show for about a decade, and about 2 or 3 years into doing my show, there were some stories here and there that I covered about the trans issue. Somebody who is trans reached out to me and explained to me in a very straightforward way, yeah, look, I was born biologically female. I feel like I'm biologically male. My reality never lined up. Well, I'm just explaining what they said, and then you can respond however you'd like to respond. And they told me, as soon as I got the surgery, changed the way I dressed, changed the way I appeared, I felt phenomenally better. And so that's why, at least for me, this was the answer. Now, I think it would be incredibly arrogant for me to say back to that person, no, you shouldn't do that, or I know better than you do for yourself. And that's not to say that every time somebody does this, it works out well, of course, because everybody's an individual. But in some instances, that's the answer. So, me as a simple outsider, I just look at it and say, hey, whatever floats your boat, and if it works, it works.
Look, most of the time, my attitude is you can go to hell in handbasket any way you choose if you're an adult. Now, this problem is complicated and compounded by the fact of the necessity of medical involvement and the ethics on the medical front. So when you asked me about how that should be regulated, my answer was I'm not exactly sure about that.
Yeah,
although it isn't obvious to me that it's obvious to me that the trans surgery enterprise has gone way too far. Thousands of people too far. And I'm certain that it's
a franchise?
Exponentially more people than it's helped.
All right, guys, what you just saw was a teaser clip from my podcast with Dr. Jordan Peterson, so you have to see the whole thing. I don't want anybody to think, oh my god, this is out of context or that's out of context. No, the full thing is available to watch, totally unedited. You have to check it out. There's 2 ways you can do that. Number 1, sign up on Substack for free and get the full audio version of the podcast, which drops tomorrow. Crystal Kyle and friends. Again, the link will be in the video description box below. You'll see the link. Sign up for free on Substack. You get the full audio version of the podcast completely unedited. Or, if you can't wait until tomorrow, you can get it today. The full video version of the podcast drops today. It's $5 a month. Not only will you get this podcast today, the video version, every single time there's a Crystal Kyle and Friends, you'll get it a day early, and you'll get the full video version as opposed to the audio version. So again, it was a phenomenal conversation. You have to see the entire thing. It was both cordial and contentious at the same time. It's golden. I had a blast doing it. I hope he did too. Check it out below.
Yeah, I just don't want to accidentally paint over this. Let's see here. I don't know why this is so hard for people to figure out. It's just act like it's like some kind of like fucking epidemic or something. I mean, we had a real epidemic and they ignored it. People like him. He wants to act like everyone's going trans or something, like it's a trend. It's stupid as shit. There we go, that should work. Maybe. Probably not. Fuck it. Just fuck it. Just paint the whole damn thing. Let's try our best not to go over the edge. That's it. How's this view? What are we watching right now? What's going on? Oof. Come on, tape's not holding it together here. I think I'll switch over to a different brush. Get the edges here. I'm just gonna paint over this whole fucking thing, draw over it, whatever. I got a snapshot of what I want. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. Since we're going to take this whole thing, I'm going to tape off the edges and then redo the black. That way. You gotta think backwards when it comes to painting like this. Unlike Photoshop where like layers, you work on the front layer and back layers. For painting, you work on the back layers to front layers. What was that? Ink chunk? Okay. Get a little sticky. Clean this off. Run out of paint too. Let's see, we have a little bit of magenta, white. I think that'll do it. And yellow. A little bit of red. No, this ain't red. I got the wrong kind of red. Orange. Even though it's called cadmium-free red. Oh well. Let's lighten it up. There we go. It's a little lighter than the initial mixture, but whatever. Should have paid attention to what I put in there. What is this? What is on my screen? Florida weather clouds? Is this like something you get tricked into seeing?
So
Hey.
Can I get a...
They're suing Elon Musk over an emoji. No, they're suing him because he backed out of the fucking deal that he was supposed to do. Yes. I keep thinking like, oh, I want to watch these videos, but then I'm like, oh wait, I forgot how boring they are. I forgot how incredibly dry and boring they are. And this is like their main videos and channels and everything. I think just a little more magenta in there. Maybe start doing like another layer on here once this dries. Yeah, there we go. Stay down there. Right, let's get some more art tape on there and tape it down. I guess I should have cut a bigger piece of foam board and just slapped it on there instead. No biggie. Just trying to keep this from warping too much. And keep my fingerprints off of it. Alright. Let's see, we got 10 minutes. I'll give it 10 minutes and do another layer on there. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Just type in anti-woke and see what we get. And every title. Wait. Zoomers rise up against anti-white SJW rhetoric and burn books. Do we got someone here?
In modern times, can...
Oh, fuck you, Akaran. So fucking boring. God damn it. Matt Walsh. Sure.
You know, back in my day, growing up in the utopian Garden of Eden period known as 1990s,
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
we had kid shows which the interesting thing about the kid shows is that they were shows for kids. That's what they were for. And some of them were better than others. Some were kind of weird. Some were kind of stupid. Some were artistic masterpieces, like, for example, the Nickelodeon show Salute Your Shorts, which is a 90s show that every
Oh yeah,
90s
that's
kid remembers.
riveting television. I'm sure
Every
will
other
hold
90s
up
kid
when I
remembers
watch it
too.
again.
Now, the thing about these shows is that their primary goal was to entertain, as I remember. And that's different from the situation that we have today.
No. They were to entertain and also sell toys, tell stories, give kids ideas of things. Gargoyles had an episode where one of the characters shoots one of the main characters with a gun, and it was about gun safety and not treating guns like toys. So no, this whole idea that there wasn't any lessons back then, you already fucked up. You already fucked up.
Kids shows
Give me the money. Give me the money that people pay you.
Concern. The primary goal now is to ensure that the children in the audience adopt the correct political and ideological viewpoints.
Wrong.
Wheel of morality, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we
Politics
should
is everything,
and by
buddy.
Correct, I mean those views that are in keeping with the mainstream beliefs of our culture, and by that I mean incorrect. So by correct, I mean incorrect. We'll begin with the latest example, and maybe the worst. This one is fresh out of the indoctrination oven. It's the show Muppet Babies, in which Gonzo comes out as a gender-fluid cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Yes, really. Let's watch.
This is not new.
You missed our royal ball.
I'm sorry, this isn't new. There's always trans kids, and there's always trans people. Because we live in a world now that, well, not in a world, because we live in a country that's a little more understanding, generally speaking, when it comes to trans people. People are going to be more confident in themselves to come out. A couple of years ago, I went to a convention and seeing a furry walking around who's like 14 years old, celebrating her birthday. She just turned 14. It's like, goddamn, I was like wasting away in my room, hating myself at 14. And this person has the confidence to just say, yep, this is me, this is what I like, and this is what I'm going to do. So, yeah, as the world, or at least the country you live in, the stupid prison state that we live in, socially understands things more, people are going to come out more and be more confident in themselves. What's the issue? Why would the expression and entertainment not do that?
Amazing princess! But they ran away, and all they left behind was this.
Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. The princess who came to your ball tonight was me.
Matt Walsh, the genius, analyzing children's cartoons to,
But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us?
Because you all expected me to look a certain way. I don't want you to be upset with me, but I don't want to do things just because that's the way they've always been done either. I want to be me.
Oh, Gonzo, we're sorry. It wasn't very nice of us to tell you what to wear to our ball.
You're our friend, and we love you any way you are.
Oh, the horror.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
The horror.
See, this is why it's so important to have a father in the home.
Fuck off. Fuck. How do you know? How do you know? Well, yeah, it's important to have a father like you that would just slap their kid and say, no, no. And then wake up one morning and say, wow, why did my kid commit suicide? Oh, it can't be anything I did. No, it's the leftists who's wrong. It's the TV.
It's clear that Gonzo doesn't have a father in the home to say, hey, take that thing off. You look stupid. Get that thing off of you.
Take that ridiculous thing off.
You know, some people will point out that kid shows in the past have had episodes where boys dress as girls, and that's true. But in the past, whether it was a kid show or something for older kids or you know, older
but it's played for laughs, therefore it's okay now.
Doubtfire movie from the 90s, Robin Williams. In the past, this plot point was always played for laughs, right? It was supposed to be.
What the fuck, man? God, I can't fucking stand this guy. Alright, that's enough of that bullshit. Incorrect, sir. Incorrect. I guess continue, sure.
Funny. The point was that boys look stupid in girls' clothes, and we should laugh about it.
Oh yeah! Well, we know what I think! Who cares what you think? You're a girl now!
Now the point is that wearing girls' clothes is great and courageous, and more boys should try it. You know, if you've raised your kids correctly and they were to watch Muppet Babies and they saw that, they would start laughing. Like, if my boys watch Muppet Babies, which they won't, but if they did and they saw that, they would just laugh hysterically because they would say that's so silly and ridiculous, which it is. But now it's the goal is quite the opposite of that, which is, among other things, extremely creepy. Next, we have the show Arthur, one that I remember from my childhood as well, the show about a lovable aardvark. I think that's what he is, but I could be wrong. He used to be lovable. Anyway, he's lost a bit of his charm now that he's pushing critical race theory.
Hey, Arthur.
Critical race theory?
Hey, Buster, did you see that video?
Yeah, I just watched it. It was awful. I can't believe someone would be hurt like that just because they're black.
Racism is so unfair.
Oh yeah, we never learned anything about
judge someone
racism
by the
growing
color
up.
of their
That's
skin.
just, this is all brand
How
new.
could it happen here, in Elwood City, right outside the Sugar Bowl?
Buster, it happens everywhere. I was talking to Mrs. McGrady the other day.
Yeah, it
She
does.
said there's a really long history of black people not being treated fairly in this country.
It has to stop.
We have to do
We
something.
have to do something.
But what can we do? I mean,
I can sit here and paint.
I can't even fry an egg on my own.
I don't know.
Make fun of Matt Walsh,
Maybe Mrs. McGrady can give us some ideas.
the guy who's above my pay grade.
Hello, boys. I'm so glad you reached out to me. Yes, I saw the video too. And let me tell you, it made my blood boil.
Me too. It also made me scared. I mean, this happened in our neighborhood.
It is scary, Buster.
What's wrong with this?
But you should know that a lot of grown-ups are fighting racism and working hard to keep us all safe.
What's wrong with this?
Why does this keep happening, Mrs. McGrady?
Teaching kids that
Well,
racism exists?
is like a disease.
What's the problem
If
here?
you don't treat it, it's just going to get worse.
Okay, let me jump in there, Mrs. Grady, if I could. Mrs. McGrady, whatever your name is. Why does it keep happening? Well, for the same reason that unicorns keep shitting on your roof. That is, it's not happening. Like, at all. There have been comparatively few unjustified police shootings of anyone. Statistically, this is undeniable from a statistical standpoint.
Just look at fucking statistics,
and almost none of them
they tell you otherwise.
have
Look
any
at the
connection to
fucking
racism.
facts.
So this is not a thing that's actually happening, and yet the
Yes,
people
it is.
behind Arthur
There's an
want
example
small
almost
children
every
to imagine they
fucking
live in a country
day.
where black people are being killed left and right for the color of their skin, just like walking on the street. They just get murdered by the cops.
You really
It's-
think someone
it's
would
happened.
do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
And by the way, side note, what does race even exist in the Arthur universe?
You can't just invent a holiday, Arthur.
Well, sure you can. My family celebrates Kwanzaa, and that was invented for African Americans by Dr. Maulana Karenga in 1966.
Not sure what's going on there exactly,
Are we
but
going
let's
into
keep
the fucking
going. We'll
semantics
stay
of, like,
on
them being
the
animals and
racial
shit?
side of things with this from a
Even
show
though they're, like,
that I
generally
don't even
just
know what the show
stand-ins for
is, but it's
people.
called Steven Universe. Here it is.
Does racism exist in the
All right,
Watership
class.
Down universe?
Can anyone tell
Give me a fucking break.
me who invented the light bulb?
Thomas Edison!
That's not entirely true. The light bulb
Thomas
could
Edison
more
just funded
rightfully be
everything.
attributed to Lewis Latimer, the black
He
inventor
said, "I
behind the
did this."
filament inside the bulb.
His invention made light bulbs affordable and efficient enough for the general public, bringing electric light into households around the world.
Well, so now you know.
And yeah, we probably wouldn't have as many
Wait,
racists
is that
around
it?
if
Hold
the
on. We're not going to mention why he invented the filament? To create a better standard of living for people who had only just been freed from slavery? Are we going to ask why kids are apparently learning about Thomas
yeah, let
Edison?
that dry now. Back to Matt Walsh here
And
and
not
break
learning
my
about
brain.
Lewis Latimer? These textbooks are incomplete. There were black Roman warriors, black medieval knights, black classical musicians, black cowboys, black fighter pilots. Where are they?
Yeah, black nobles.
Okay. I don't want to get into a historical debate with a cartoon, but at the same time, no, you could not attribute the light bulb to Lewis Latimer if you actually care about things like the truth and historical accuracy. You know, those little details like that. Yes, Latimer innovated a filament for the bulb. He didn't invent the filament, but he did come up with a better, longer-lasting filament. which is great. That doesn't equate to inventing the light bulb. All right? I could invent a more durable
That means he
tire
participated
or a
in it
more
and just Thomas
reliable
Edison took all the
braking
fucking credit.
system. Well, I could do that, but somebody could.
Yeah, these are
That doesn't mean that I get to claim that I
These are
invented the
people,
car, though.
and
And I can't
Thomas
invent the
Edison
car
just
because
took
it's
all the
already
credit
been
for it.
invented.
Kinda
So
like
there's that
Elon
little detail.
Musk.
As for the actual inventor of the light bulb, there is a debate that could be had about who exactly that was. Edison deserves most of the credit that he gets. Joseph Swan is an English scientist, also developed an incandescent bulb independently. But Joseph Swan was white. So the fact is, many of the most important inventions in modern society were given to us by white people, usually men. Not all, but a great many. That's not a racist statement. That is just a fact. It's also not
It's
something to be
racist by
ashamed
omission.
of, or embarrassed about, or competitive about, or angry about. Rather than trying to steal this invention from
That a
Thomas
lot of
Edison,
inventors
when he's not even
who were black just get ignored or swept under the rug when we were learning things about school. Learning about things in school like this. Like, I picked up on some of this shit just on TV of black inventors. Not so much school, though. So what?
been around to defend himself. How about saying, hey, thanks, Thomas Edison?
I mean, what do you think the ideas have come around where I've had arguments with people telling me, like, well, black people never invented anything. Black people never participated in anything. They just don't create anything. They just destroy everything. They ruin culture and they ruin cities and whatever, and they don't bother to contemplate why that is. How were they set up that way? God, what a fucking idiot. The checks must be nice, though. The checks must be real nice.
At least one good white guy that's been out there. There are many others, it turns out. All right, so no list of woke children's shows would be complete without the Blue's Clues drag queen episode, which maybe you've seen by now, but it's
all they
want to
do is just be pandered to. They believe a certain thing,
once again.
And they go all the way to find things to confirm the things that they already believe.
Hi, family.
That's the kind of audience that people like Matt Walsh have here.
Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. This family has two
I like how we've come from reviewing the quality of a show and the production value to just whether or not it talks about progressive things, and that's all that matters. Give me a break, man. Let's see here. Get these edges. Hope I'm not recording anything. Okay, good. Yeah.
Marching in the big hooray. Families march.
And Blue would be all coy about it, even though Blue knows where the damn glue stick is. He won't just tell Steve where it is, so he starts planting all these clues around.
Oh, fuck off. Enough of you.
You know, back in...
Now I have to warn you that if you're sensitive to audio stuff or if your stomach never really sat well with videos like the Brick Lady, then I'd recommend skipping to this timestamp. Otherwise, well, you've been warned.
What the hell is this?
Go, or to say that they're hurting her in some way or shape or form. Mini Mysteries video. It's a video amusingly titled Red Wagon Pistachio Avery Secret Jersey Dance.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis Mini, the definitive mini console of the year. The next evolution has arrived. Reinventing the Sega Genesis with a new compact design. Sega Genesis Mini 2. Upgraded hardware can store more games than before, including Sega CD titles. The sequels to hit titles. Hidden masterpieces that could only be played on the Sega Genesis. Ports of blockbuster arcade games. And new games you've never seen before. Preloaded with over 50 classic titles, even more than the Sega Genesis Mini. More compact, more advanced. The new Sega Genesis Mini 2 is here. Available October 27th.
I kind of prefer the way I have it now, where you just put any games I want in there, including Sega CD ones, and just, you know, use a scan disc to upgrade the memory.
Ah, the Dreamcast. What a console. Hey guys, remember the Dreamcast? Wow, that was fun. Remember remembering the Dreamcast 5 seconds ago? Good times. Alright, seriously, I don't feel like making yet another little history lesson where I just talk about how much I like it. That would be too easy.
Wait, is this even from the same company? The one who made the first Mini? think for now we're gonna call it. Got some. Oof. Smooth that out. Got some time to let that dry. So let's get another project started. While we wait for that to dry. Set timer for 30 minutes. $25 minutes. I want to work on this baby. Oh man. Faith versus culture, punished for being Christian? I can't wait to review this. shall be ashamed of thy anatomy. So I grew up in one of those households where we were allowed to watch like almost any kind of violent thing. Nightmare on Elm Street, Aliens, Terminator. But if something had nudity in it, it was bad. It wasn't bad, it's just that I couldn't see it. Couldn't witness nudity. I could witness people having their lungs ripped out and their scrotums eaten, but couldn't witness any tits or penis. Though, you know, penis was hard to come by in movies in general. You know, I never understood that. It's something I want to look into more. Like, why, as a country, so caught up in sexual things and sexual expression, but not so much violence. Alright, time to pull up the smaller one here. I guess I should have zoomed in on it a little more. Oh well. Looks like this one's pretty safe. Well, actually probably shouldn't do it. Don't want to get nailed for copyright. Just have memories of all my Genesis days. Oh, battery's dead. really drains it fast. We have a thicker one for the outside. So I see some Dynamite Heady on this list. It's gotta be a lesser version of Mega Man. It's on the Genesis. That looks unique. Never played that one.
Cool. Are you ready?
Global Gladiators, Mac. Oh god.
Yeah.
A little more elaborate than I was expecting for a McDonald's game.
Hello, breakfast. Hello, breakfast.
I ain't gonna go fast. Hello, breakfast. That was just a barrage of noise. Ah, another mediocre Looney Tunes game. So soon? Even back then as a kid, you kind of knew like licensed games were really lame back then most of the time. I don't see them as much in general, thankfully. generally boring. Like, I tried playing Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, and I'm just like, if I want to play this, I'm just gonna see the movie instead. That's what it just comes down to. Earthworm Jim. Oh God, stop. Yeah, I think I managed to beat this. I don't remember. I guess I can't really put it on my list of beaten games. Oh, Sonic ripoff. This looks like garbage. That sounds familiar. Oh, yeah. Ren and Snippy. I think I beat that one too. It's been too long. Can't say for sure. Can't put it on my list. Of course. Get a bug out of me. How long did you take? Have a cooling thing here. This game I had fun with. I kind of want to avoid doing too many details in the middle here with this creature. I'll have to use this my attempted urge to do shading and stuff compared to everything else. That's the idea. I don't know, when I was playing this on stream, the bugs were setting me off. Especially the swinging parts. Ah, yes, Rocket Knight 2. Didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. Yep. Fuck you too, Gravity. This game drove me nuts as a kid. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Couldn't get past the first level. guess some details I just heard it too much. Give us some definition of shape. There. Make sure there's some good files of me drawing this up. How long before they bring this show back? They brought Animaniacs back, they're gonna bring this one back too, because nothing's allowed to die. Remember Tiny Toons? Remember He-Man? Yeah, this game is pretty good too. It's hard as fuck though. Probably not so much anymore. I did come close fighting him when I was playing Sonic 1, so I don't know. Maybe his games are harder than I remember. Than I give him credit for at this point. I guess because of the like limited lives versus like being able to save state and all that stuff. There should be Pirate's Gold on here. Pirate's Gold is great. I'll get Kid Chameleon a shot, but man, looks like a badass. Animated, there we go, now we're into real classics. Yeah, Rest Star is good. No Dynamite Heady though. There's the real one, yeah. I'm kind of itching to play that one again. It's so well made. It's so epic too in terms of side scrolling. The different settings and bosses you fight. How far it goes. I mean, you're running into space at some point. And having mech battles. The king of them all right here. Oh my god, stop saying that one's the best one, it's not. Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic CD's not even that good either. People try to argue for that one too, I think they're full of shit. Alright, this is all nice and set and dry. Alright, first things first.
I can't believe that we have to do this again, but here we are. For those of you that don't know, we just released an episode that covered a whole bunch of systems that Soulja Boy was selling. These ones right here. In that episode, we told you everything that was bad about those consoles. And folks, there was a lot of bad. And while one of them was an interesting console, the Fuse system, the problem was that, well, if you lived outside of China, chances are you probably couldn't actually get the system to work very well. So that's how we left it. He was selling these systems, and we thought they were a bad idea. But things happen.
Alright. Now, considering the time, I'm going to call it for now. Actually, no, there's no reason to. I can go a little further. Start measuring this out. So we're going to repaint this black here. Let's maybe go about an 1/8. cooled off yet. You know what? Just do a quick pencil line. It's easy to erase. And let's see, we'll measure 1/8 right up there. Fuck. Fuck. Really? I might have to stop just because the GoPro is so fucking overheated. Yeah, you know what? I don't like how it's sticking. We want to pull off the paint. Alright. I'm gonna give this some time. I gotta eat sandwiches and food. I'll see y'all tomorrow.